Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here in the Fuzzy Biker Garage. It's early morning here. I'm just about to head out on a trip. We're going to be taking this beautiful Royal Enfield Meteor 350 in Supernova Blue. One of my favorite colors, this and the red, the Supernovas. We're going to be taking this to the Flint Hills of Kansas, all the way down to the Oklahoma border, maybe into Oklahoma, but at least down to the border. And that's about a 400-mile ride from here, so I think I can do it in about 500 miles. Maybe 400 miles on the way back, but we'll see what we do. Anyway, the bike is a 349cc single-cylinder, air-cooled, oil-cooled hot rod with an overhead cam, 2-valve per cylinder, puts out about 20 horsepower, about 20 foot-pounds of torque. That's about 27 newton meters. Has a beautiful 5-speed transmission. I've got a 350 Classic with the same engine. They call this the J platform, and I just love that thing. I just took that on I think it was almost 700-mile ride last week, and Baxter's agreed to lend us, because y'all contacted them and let them know that we'd like to do this. Anyway, agreed to lend us one of these 350s to do the same kind of a trip. So we're going to be close to 1,000 miles by the time we're done. I'm going to leave this morning. We're going to camp when we get down to the other end, and then we will make our way back tomorrow. Back to the bike. It's got a 19-inch front tire. I think it's a 190/19. The rear is a 17, 140/70/17. It's got tubeless tires. It's got a 300-millimeter disc on the front. Check that out, with a dual piston bi-brake caliper. 41-millimeter forks with about 5.1 inches of travel. That's about 130 millimeters. Look at those rims, aren't those beautiful? On the back, she's got dual shock system. About 89 millimeters of travel, or about 3.5 inches. 270-millimeter disc with a single pot bi-brake caliper. Some of the things that make this ideal for touring are the 4-gallon gas tank. That's about 15 liters, and the 55.1-inch wheelbase. That's about 1,400 millimeters. Good highway stability, lots of range. These bikes will get about 50 to 65, 70 miles a gallon. So we'll have quite a range of one tank. Very good looking motorcycle, isn't it? I like it a lot. Wet weight on a motorcycle like this is about 421 pounds, that's about 191 kilograms. So it should be stable. The weight is very low. It wears it very low in the frame. So it does feel lighter than it actually is. Something else that would make this a very good tour bike is it's got this beautiful seat. Nice, wide, long seat. I've got my bag back there. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's got forward controls. I like that because I can stretch my legs out. And it's got these handlebars that reach back to the rider. So you don't have to lean forward. It's a very upright sitting position, and works very well. The windshield is going to be something I'm very interested to see how that works on a long ride. When I took that ride across Iowa on my Classic, there was no windshield on that bike, and that's something I wish I had, and I think this will help a lot. So down here to the gauge package, we've got this, I call it the Oculus. Got an analog speedometer on the outside. In here we've got the fuel gauge right across the top, an always visible clock, an always visible gear indicator, the odometer at the bottom, and using this button right here, you can go from odometer to trip A to trip B, back to odometer. This is the nav system. We probably won't be using that today, but it's a good system. As far as controls go, we've got these wonderful levers, some of my favorite levers out there. They're narrow through here, they're wide through here, they got a good radius through here, and they work very well with these Amal grips. We've got an information button here that we use to control that little LCD. Right here we've got the flash to pass button, low beams, high beams, the blinker, the horn down here, something I always forget to mention. Maybe I don't forget as much anymore. There's a USB down here. It's covered. Right there it is. Can you see that? And that is active as long as the bike's running. At least that's how it is in my Classic. Kill switch over here, run switch, start switch, hazard lights, fuel. A very good looking place to be. I like the chrome cap. Look at that gorgeous blue. There's a little hump to the tank right there too. That's kind of neat. Other things this bike has, it's got this nifty little backrest, and this is a metal plate on the back, and this is milled in the metal. It's very high quality, very good looking. These are cast, you can't really see them, but cast grab bars to hang on to. I've got my bag tied to that. It's got these crash bars on the front, and I already mentioned the windscreen. So let's talk about camping. The bike did not come with bags, so I had to get everything I needed to camp for an overnighter in this one bag. And here I've got my green duffel bag that's got all my camping gear, my tent, my sleeping bag, all that neat stuff. I've got clothes, I've got first aid, I've got The only thing I don't have in there is food and drink, and we're going to stop and get some of that when I get gas in the hot rod. So I think we're all ready to go. I think this is going to be an interesting ride. We're going to learn a lot about the bike, and we're going to have some fun. If y'all are interested in a motorcycle like this, if y'all are interested in this motorcycle, get yourself over to Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa. They've got Royal Enfields, Triumphs, classic British bikes, parts, doodads, thingamajigs, accessories, gloves, gear, all the good stuff. We'll talk about gear here later. And they can help you out. Go to baxtercycle.com. I'm going to gear up and head out. Life is good. Wahoo! Yippee-yi-yay! Yippee-yi-yo! Down the road we go. Beautiful, beautiful machine. Turn the radio on. 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 Turn the radio on.